Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 253 of the Michael Lab Show. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday morning, closing into May, closing out spring. I got the immune system of a 2-year-old kid who fits their entire foot into their mouth, which makes no sense because I've always thought I had a really good immune system. But apparently, I got the worst immune system known to mankind because I've been sick. Again, let me make sure this is turned on. Make sure everything's working. Everything's working. All right, cool. Everything's turned on. All right, we're good. But apparently, I got the immune system of a child because I got a cold and I was down for a long time. I probably went through a box and a half worth of tissues, and yeah. So that was fun. That was a great weekend. It was a good time. It was a good time to be alive. I hope everyone's doing well out there. I got, a few topics I want to get in today. This one podcast a week is actually really nice. It's really nice for me. I found like a nice little balance with life and the podcast and working, door dashing, which that's been incredible. I'm going to get into it all this episode. But let me make sure I mute this real quick. I spent the last weekend, the 2 weekends ago, I spent it with my family, and it was incredible. It was really nice. It was, we've been out here for about, 4 months at the time, and that's been incredible. I love being away from, everyone I know. And I know when I speak from where I'm coming from, I know it's unique. I know a lot of things I say, I don't think a lot of people can, I think you can relate to it, but I know for me, I'm a lot less, I guess, sentimental than most people. I'm very much I'm happy wherever I am, because of phones in my head, I feel like I'm close to everybody all the time, and when we went to go see my family, it was nice. We went all the way to Delaware, Bethany Beach. We stayed at my one of my family members. They got a place down there, and it was a really good time. I was kind of nervous, honestly, going into it. Just to catch up with everybody, see what my sister's up to, see what my mom's up to, my dad's up to, and it was for Easter. And it was really nice seeing my entire family again. It was really nice. We for Easter, so we saw my extended family. And I didn't feel homesick, but I just felt confused. It just felt odd. I didn't want to there was not a part of me that was like, oh, I don't want to leave. I wanted to leave, but I also wanted to stay. It's also weird now, when you're at this age, your parents are older, right? So when you go back and see them, you I don't know, for me, the first thing I notice is they're older, they're aging. And it's so things start rushing through your mind, damn, man, this is crazy. I'm 25. My parents are both 55. I don't know, 30, 35, 40 years left of me with my parents. I could be halfway done, with the time I've had with my parents. And that's scary, thinking about that. It's it's kind of nerve wracking. And I know, there's plenty of people out there who don't have, and this is just me. I go to a really dark place all the time. Unfortunately, I don't know. Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever. I always get, most people go well, don't think about that. But I do think about that. I think about the worst possible thing of all time. When I'm door dashing, I'm always I'm going to get stabbed here. I'm going to get shot here. I'm always worried about the worst possible thing because I assume everyone sucks until they prove to me that they don't suck. So I don't know. There's probably a lot of you can probably do a lot of therapy with that statement. But you just kind of you run, you do the cycles, you see your family again, and it was nice. It was nice seeing everybody. I love getting back to Roanoke though. I love this routine that I have. I really do. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of routine. It was weird. We were kind of thrown off. I couldn't DoorDash for one day the week before we left, and the week we got back on Monday. We didn't work Tuesday, so I only had 3 days to DoorDash, so I was making less money. But we're back full time now, and it was really nice seeing everybody. It was a nice little break. Going back to my old house, it was strange. Like it just felt older and it felt more like cluttered and more like there's just a lot of stuff was there because like my apartment it's very sparse. As you age, you start like accumulating more and more things, and like that happened there. And it was weird. It was weird, like seeing my old bedroom again. It wasn't that odd. Like I think a lot of people make that like a lot more odd than it actually is. But that wasn't that weird. Just the strangest thing was just, seeing everybody again, talking to everybody again. It was also kind of weird having to tell people, yeah, I don't have that job anymore, which was also kind of strange because when I told people, like they asked me, somehow they already knew about it, which is kind of funny because I was, I'm talking to them and they go like, how's the job? And some people knew I didn't work at the job anymore. Some people I knew I had the job, but then also some people knew I had the job and then I wasn't working there anymore, which was like, how do you people know that? And I'm like, did my parents tell them? Did my mom tell them? Like, what's going on here? How'd they figure it out? And then I realized, oh, wait, I talk for an hour each week and I share it to thousands of people each month. So maybe that has something to do with it. So it was just kind of weird, like seeing that like firsthand. Like I've had a few times in my life where, people know me from an episode they heard or a couple episodes they heard or, whatever, like a month of listening to my podcast. It can be strange. It can be weird having those like interactions with people, especially family. But it was nice though. A lot of people were very supportive, very supportive of my decision. When I told everybody I had a job in finance and I wasn't working there anymore, they were all like, good. I was like, what? Like, I don't know. People have like a bad, I don't know. I think maybe if you're like someone, maybe if you don't have a lot of assets or you're not really good with your money, you're not good with your money. Someone who works in finance is kind of like frustrating. It's kind of like annoying. It's like those people who hate on, hated like Steve Jobs, hated Elon Musk, hate Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. It's like, well, you don't have their money. And if you had their money, I bet you wouldn't give it up. You fucking idiots. That shit drives me crazy. All these goddamn fucking people out there like, oh, fuck the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Hey, listen here, you kumquat. Let's learn about taxes, dummy. You dummy, you fucking idiots. If someone gave you $100 billion, what would you do with it? You would donate it all? Is that what you would do? You would donate every single dollar of it? I don't believe you. I don't believe you for a second. So shut up and relax, homie. Be happy with what you got. I don't know. There's just a lot of like, there's a lot of shit going around. I want to talk about a few books that I just recently read. I've been reading like a madman. I slowed down a little bit within the past week. I was out, we went to go see my family, and the book I'm reading now is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. It's like a 1984 George Orwell book. It's kind of like a spooky like future book, one of those books. It's fine, it's okay, like it's good. It's I've been reading, so I've read Ray Dalio's book, which was a fine book. I've talked about it a few times in here. I talked about it probably too much at this point. The other book I read was it was by Caitlyn Jenner. It was a fascinating book. I don't know much about the trans culture. I don't know much about transgenders, transvestites. I think I'm pretty sure transvestite is a cross-dresser. So if I'm not trying to say a slur, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm actually just trying to be very proper with it. Like, I don't know. I had an incident, not an incident. It wasn't an incident, but it was a mental thing for me that I really, it fucked with my head a lot. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, Taylor, and she's very, she is somebody who I'm gonna stereotype here, and I'm gonna overgeneralize a lot with what I'm about to say. But she's somebody who, if you look at her, you can feel very rest assured that she is very accepting of everybody, right? And I could just be in my own head about this, and I talked to her about this, so I'm not saying anything here that's like ridiculous, but you look at her and you're like, oh, she's probably very accepting of everybody in LGBTQIAP+. And I think when you see someone like me, like a larger, muscular, and I'm not saying poor me, but I'm just kind of like, I'm just trying to share to people like I think there's a lot of quick judgments that people have, very very quick judgments, and I know like I'm guilty of it. Like if you see someone with like blue hair, you go like, oh, I know what they are. They're a crazy socialist Marxist. Or if you see someone who's like a big tough white dude with like an American flag hat, you assume fuck they're a Trumper, and then you go to racism. It's like the just these very broad, you know, paintbrushes that we do, and like the issue when you paint with like a large brush is you mess up a lot, and like I think that's damaging to people because then you create these ideas about who somebody is or what somebody is without actually knowing who they are, and that doesn't just mess up that relationship, that messes up every relationship that you have outside of that person. If you assume everyone with an American flag hat with jeans and is a white male who looks like they work out is a certain type of person, that ruins the way you interface with everybody. That doesn't just ruin that relationship. And it also shows how bad of a communicator you are, and how bad and how insecure you are, and how you don't understand people. And not that you don't, there's a difference between not understanding people and not wanting to understand people, because that's ignorance. And I think that's very important. I know God, for me, like I'm going to be very honest here, like very, very honest. And if you don't like this, I apologize, but I actually don't apologize, because I don't ever apologize for being truthful and being honest with myself. I don't ever fucking apologize for that. But as a child, man, as a young person, even early middle school, like I thought being gay was like a bad thing. I thought that was a sin. Like, to be perfectly honest, I did. Like, I really thought that was a sin. But I grew up in the church, I grew up as a Roman Catholic, like a very extreme conservative group of the Christian faith. I grew up where, like, if you were gay, like, you don't deserve to get married. Like, and that me saying that doesn't even sound like me saying that, because that's so far from what I believe in now. I'm so pro, not even pro, I don't like saying pro, but I'm just pro-human. And humans are complex, and humans have their own sexual preferences, and like, yeah, you're gay, or you're straight, you're bi, you're non-binary, you're pansexual, whatever, intrasexual, which is a fascinating one, because like that's seen a lot in, like, not a lot, but it's seen in different animals outside of, Homo sapiens. But like, part of me does feel like shame for that, for like even having that idea in my head. And like, if you were trans, like that wasn't even a question. Like, what was that? And I know, I don't, I couldn't imagine growing up like in a family that's like I grew up Catholic, but I couldn't, and I'm not throwing shade at anybody here. I'm really not. I'm just saying the truth of the matter. When you grow up in a certain, I call it a cult, because I think religion is a cult, right? It is, like, it really is. Like, if you can take someone who's Catholic and they don't get upset, and you just explain to them, hey man, like, you're going to follow this one dude. This dude, he wrote down rules. You can't break these rules. If you break these rules, you get kicked out of the club. And if you like the same sex, you're an outsider. If there's so many rules that if you break, you're in trouble. And then I told you, is that a cult? And you would say yes. And that told you that's your faith. You would freak the fuck out and put a bullet through my face. But that's what it is. Faith is a cult. Politics is a cult. Everything's a cult. Humans move in a very cultish, like, we have cultish like tendencies. I think that's just human nature. And the quicker that we realize that that's us, and the quicker that we can also realize, like, that's what social media has done. It has hijacked that part of our brain. Anyway, so I wasn't raised I was raised in church, right? So like, that was my feeling towards people. And I had an experience, 2 weekends ago, where somebody who's close to me, and this could just be me being insecure about myself, and I should have said something, but I felt like they thought of me as somebody who didn't like who they were. And I don't want to say who they were, or I don't want to say what they were or what they identified as, because that's not my place to do. But they were part of the LGBTQIAP plus community. And, like, I felt so much shame for that. Like Taylor's getting along, having a great conversation. They're sharing TikToks with each other, phone numbers with each other. I'm like, why can't that be me? Like, I want to be that person that people assume. I don't want to be that person I don't want to be a person that someone else assumes doesn't like them. Like, that makes me sad. Like, that actually makes, like, tears come to my eyes. Like, I hate that because it's not who I am. Like, I love humans, dude. I love people, like, and that was upsetting to me because this person is, they're close to me and I fully support this person. They're a brilliant human being, a fucking strong person too. So much stronger than I will ever be. Dude, the bravery it takes to like make a transition in your life is already hard enough. Think about how hard it is to move. Now think about like changing the person that you identify with internally, and like you're struggling internally. You feel a certain way, but externally the world doesn't view you that way. That's got to be so hard. And there's a reason why suicide numbers are so high for people who are on the LGBTQIAP plus spectrum. I don't want to say spectrum, but just there. And like that's so sad to me. Like that scares the shit out of me. And like I don't know. I just maybe I was just in my head, but I love people. I love everybody. And before I went up there, I was listening to Caitlyn Jenner. She was on. That's another thing, dude. If someone identifies as something, someone says they're she or he. Like I make fun of pronouns. All that's the other thing. Maybe. And what I was saying before is like, I think it's because I'm a white muscular man and I look like somebody who would hate. You select the group, fill in what your brain is thinking. That's the person I feel like I look like, and that's not me. If you get to know me, like I fucking love you. Like I have people on social media who hate. I don't know if they hate me, but they don't like the things I say. That's fine. That's totally okay. I accept that. And like those people were rebuttal to me, like to things I post on my story. Just very hateful things. Like I put up this one thing about police officers and this person says something horrible about cops. And I wasn't even upset because you know what? That's your opinion. That's fine. That's your opinion. And I'm accepting of that, and that's fine. That's good. You hate cops. You wish they would die. That's cool. But those are my parents you're talking about here. So what you won't hear from me is saying, I agree with you. But what I will say, and what I will do is saying some cops are absolutely horrible. There needs to be a retraining structure. But I also tell you that being a cop is the hardest job in the whole goddamn country. Point blank. And I could tell you that with experience, not being a cop, but being brought up by cops. I could tell you that with experience. I can read people very fucking well because I had to grow up reading my parents. Did they have a bad day at work? Did they see a dead baby? Did they talk to another rape victim? Did they see a gunshot wound? Did they see a knife through someone's stomach? How is that going to impact my relationship with my parents on any given day? Okay, so I know what it feels like. I can understand. But I won't argue. Like I won't tell you you're a piece of shit. I don't agree with you, but that's your fucking opinion. That's honestly, that's like what this country needs more of. Like we need to be understanding of people, bro. Like, god damn, do you understand how complicated humans are? And like to assume that we're just one way or the other, and assume that, to extrapolate one thing that someone says and just pull it out, and then you say that person's this and this because of that. You're an idiot. Like you're a dummy because that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You can't solve a math like a complex algebraic expression if you just know how to do addition. Like you need to learn everything. You need to learn everything. You need to learn the whole spectrum of people. So that did mess with me. That I slept on it, and it was one of those things that I didn't know bothered me at the time until like I was driving with Taylor, and I just told her, I said, "Hey man, the way you're interacting with that person, I wish I could." And she agreed. She said it's because, unfortunately, the way you look, and people assume things about somebody. Like I have an American flag bandana in my car, and and I shouldn't care, right? But I'm a very sensitive person, so I do care. Like sorry, I'm adjusting. I do care because I'm a very sensitive person. I always have been. I'm sensitive. I don't. That's something I'm not shameful of that either. Like that's who I am. I'm a sensitive person. I always will be a sensitive person. That's totally fine. I don't know. I love people though. People are brilliant. I don't hate. There's no hate in me. I'll hate you if you hurt someone close to me. But outside of that, like, I love people. So I've read this book, and I don't know, because I was listening to Caitlyn Jenner on Full Send podcast, and she was just talking about like she was just I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. She was just talking about being a trans woman, coming out. I don't believe she's fully transitioned, so I think they call it like the final surgery or something. I don't think she's completed that. Maybe she had. I forget. I read the book. Goddamn, I should be saying that. I read the book front to cover, and I was like, this is the whole time the Caitlyn thing was going on. Like, at first, this was 2015, so 7 years ago, I was 17, 18 years old. I was still like ignorant. I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Bruce, you're Bruce. You're not a woman. Dumb. Dumb. I was dumb. I was dumb. I've learned, but I was dumb. I'm still very dumb in a lot of ways. Most ways. For sure, most ways. But she was just talking about, like, I wanted to know more about her life. And she's always been fascinating to me because, you have this stereotype of a trans person as fill in the blank. Once again, you what I'm saying. But what they're not is the stereotype is they're not conservative. What they're not is they are not Trump supporters. What they're not is, Republicans. Like, they're not those people. Stereotypically, so like, see somebody who is a trans woman who is that person who voted for Donald Trump, wants Trump back in office, ran for governor in California as a Republican, somebody who doesn't want trans athletes playing in the sport that they don't want trans women playing in women's sports. She spoke out on that on the podcast as well. To like see that, I was like, whoa. I was confused because I'm dumb and I wanted to read about it. So I picked up her book. I read it front to cover. It took me like 3 days. It was a good book. The reviews are harsh though. People are saying like, you're not a trans woman anymore. You're not part of our groups. Like, hey, fuck off, dude. Like, it's a spectrum, homie. People have different views. Like because you transitioned had nothing to do with your views. It had the way you felt inside. And dude, I didn't know her dad fought in World War II. Like, he was a savage. Fought in D-Day. Just a fucking goddamn American, dog. Like a fucking bison eating, cigarette smoking, Jack Daniels drinking, fucking suit wearing motherfucker. American. Goddamn American. Anyways, so I picked up the book. Oh, before I get into that, I also want to say, like, just because I said all that doesn't mean you can't make fun of people. Like, that's another thing I want people to realize. Like, everybody's up to get made fun of. It's a joke. Like, things are funny. I have such an issue with people saying, you can't joke about that. Like, don't say that. Like, don't say that. Like, don't make fun of that person. Fuck you. I'm going to make fun of everybody. That's just the way it works. Like, salute you, Chris Rock. Making that alopecia joke, G.I. Joe. That was funny, dude. Jokes are funny, bro. I've talked about it before, but like, there's also a lot of like, because I was talking to my girlfriend Taylor, I was like, what makes something funny? Why do you laugh? And it's like absurdity, like crazy things, or like the thing that you expect the least amount to hear, you hear, and when that happens, you laugh hard. And I think that's what a joke is. So if I could do, I'll continue to make. I'm gonna make jokes. Like, that's just, get over yourself, bro. It's funny. And you can tell someone being a dick and someone just being funny. Also, you got to make sure that what you're saying is funny. Otherwise, you're just being a bully. I guess you're being a bully either way. So I read the book. It was a good book. I didn't know much about gender dysmorphia. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't even know it was a thing 10 years ago. But it is a gender dysmorphia, a concept designated in the DSM-5, which is like the most up to date clinical diagnosis sheet we have, as clinically significant distress or impairment related to a strong desire to be of another gender, which may include desire to change primary and or secondary sex characteristics. Primary, dick or vagina. Secondary is tits. Not all transgender or gender diverse people experience dysphoria. That's fascinating to me. So when I read that, I knew what it was, but when I read that, I was like, God damn, dude, that's gotta be so hard. Like, you know how many people live a life where they don't feel like the person who they are? Or like, you know, people are working at a job that they hate, which I was going to, but there's, you know, don't want to speak too much on any one topic because podcasts are boring if you do that. That's why. That's my reasoning. Lawyer, shut up, Mike. Talking too much, bro. Just keep on going with your little stupid podcast that you do that people listen to. You know what you're doing. Get off my LinkedIn, homie. You know, like people work at a job, they're like a lawyer, they've been doing it 10 years and they want to shoot themselves in the fucking cock. They hate it, but they won't leave it. But they stay there, but they don't want to be there. But you set yourself up for this shit. You bought a house that you could only afford with a lawyer's salary. You had a couple kids that you could only afford with a lawyer's salary. You got a car that you can only afford with a lawyer's salary. So now you're trapped. You got a ball and chain of debt around your leg. That's a new modern day ball and chain. It's debt. And your dick's going to be dragging in the dirt till the day you die. You're angry and you resent the world. And when you resent the world, you know, you start blaming everybody else for all your issues and blah, 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 blah. But imagine living with being somebody who doesn't feel they're the right gender. I couldn't imagine. It's got to be like incredibly hard. Like you got to feel like fake all the time. Everything you do, and even the experiences you have, you probably go like, I wonder what it feels like to be a woman. You know, like something like that, or like wonder how it feels like to be a man, or like if you're a woman who feels like they're a man inside, you know, you go to a bar and you're a woman, so you're being hit on. But if you feel like a man, I don't know too much about it, but you're like, dude, wonder what it feels like to be a person who hits on people. You know, because that's what men do. You know, you go to a bar, it's usually the men who are hitting on people. Sometimes it's women. Hey, feminists, don't come out. Don't come at me, bro. You guys need to go check yourself, homie. You fucking feminists out there. I don't fucking believe that shit's stupid. Y'all, you guys are savages to each other. Don't even come at me. You know, you guys are every feminist out there, think about the last time you talk shit about your friend who is a girl. Think about the last time you talk shit about your boss who's a woman. Don't you tell me I'm being a bigoted man. I'm being an asshole of a dude. Don't you think guys love women? We love women. We love women. We do. We love women. Women are awesome. Women are so mean to other men. Women are so mean to other women. So mean. So mean. Savages. They take no mercy. And they play these games, bro. Stacy hasn't talked to me in a week. She must fucking hate me. So then you don't talk to Stacy for another week. And then Stacy comes up to you. Hey, Brittany, why haven't you talked to me for a week? Stacy's like, well, you didn't talk to me for the week before. And Brittany's like, that's because I was sick. I wasn't feeling good. I had the flu. I had COVID. And then, you know, it goes on like that. That's how it goes on. And then I can go on all day. And then when Victoria's Secret models are skinny, tiny little people, you get mad because that's not achievable. That's not a real body. So then all the Victoria's Secrets, hundreds of them, are like, what the fuck am I? I'm not a real body. Well, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is like, that's not an achievable. Yes, it is. Someone looks like that. Well, they shouldn't be marketing that. It's a patriarchy because that's how guys want girls to. That's not true. That's not true. This is gonna get me in trouble by a lot of people. I don't give a fuck because it's true. But like, that's not true. I can tell you on one hand, maybe two fingers, maybe, of guys that like girls who are super, super skinny. Guys are not into that. Guys are into girls who, like, you know, are not, like, huge, but, like, you know, guys are into everything. But I can tell you one thing. I've never hung out with my guy friends like, dude, look how skinny that girl is. No. You girls do that to yourself. You do that to yourself. I'm telling you, you do that to yourself. Maybe with the help of guys. But I can also tell you, you guys talk mad shit about each other. You know, did you see what she was wearing at the Met Gala? It was so fucking ugly. Hey, feminist, don't be mean to Lady Gaga. Let her wear the steak. Fucking nutcase. No, I'm just saying. No, there's a lot of shit out there where it's like, that's fucked up. Guys shouldn't do that. But girls shouldn't do that shit. You know what you're doing when you do it. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. I'm gonna fucking Google that shit. Is feminism real? Is America a patriarchy? Patriarchy. I fucking love America, dude. Was America a patriarchal society? Summary. Patriarchy profoundly affected social relationships in the daily lives of individuals in early America by supporting the elaboration of both racial differences and sexual hierarchies. Patriarchal ideas held that men should supervise women, and the economic, sexual, legal, and political power rested with men. I see nothing wrong with that. Oh, shit. An example of a patriarchal society is where men hold the control, make all the rules, and women stay home and care for the kids. Yeah, that's how it should be. An example of a patriarchy is when the family names comes from the man in the family. Yeah, I guess that's true. A family, community, or social based on this system are governed by men. Good. That's how it should be. Women can't run a country. I'm kidding. They can. Look at Queen Elizabeth in Finland. Countries. Ready? Here you go. This is all a joke. Countries with women leaders. Presidents. See how shitty these countries are. Germany. Pause. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia. Chile. That's a legit country. That's a really cool. There's a lot, dude. There's a lot out here. Wikipedia says there's a lot. Oh, this is like a long time ago. Which place has a female president? Who was it? No. Countries with, here we go. Country with female leaders in 2022. Oh, wow. There's a lot in Africa. I would not expect that. Okay. Here we go. Uganda. Tunisia. Togo. Tanzania. There's a lot in Africa. I would not expect that. I guess that makes sense, though. Because I know, like, in a lot of like, you know, older tribes in Africa, the woman was, and like that's a joke here. Women are, like, in my opinion, women run the fucking world. Like, that's the thing is, like, women don't, you have so much power in your hands. Like, you really do. You may not be physically strong, but, like, maybe I'm just a full-blown fucking idiot, but, like, for me, like, if Taylor was in my life, I would be just completely lost on an island all the time. Just completely lost. I'd be like, oh, what's going on in the world today, man? Or, like, I don't know why is a person mad at me? It's like, and then Taylor's like, well, you said something really fucked up. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I don't know what I say a lot of the time, ever. Iceland makes sense. Hong Kong, Honduras, Greece, Georgia, Gabon, Slovakia, Sweden, Singapore, Serbia, Samoa. I would have never guessed, because Samoa, that's a very, isn't that like a very alpha man culture? Nepal, Namibia, Moldova. That's a wild country, dude. Lithuania, Iceland, Hong Kong, Honduras, Greece, Georgia, Gabon, Finland, Ethiopia, Estonia, Denmark, Barbados, Bangladesh. That's a lot. Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, gender dysmorphia, man, like that's gotta be brutal, bro. And when I read that, I was like, God damn, like that's, I don't know. I put that in, like, the longer I thought about it, the more I was like, fuck, man. How, like, why would anybody be against somebody transitioning? Unless, like, I mean, obviously, like, to me, I don't believe, like, you know, everything could just be completely open. But, like, you know, if you're not of legal age, like, no, I don't think you should be transitioning. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't know though, bro. Like, I don't know, because if I had a child who was like 15, 14, 13 years old and like they wanted to transition as a father, if like, and this sounds fucked up, but if I felt that they felt that way and they weren't just going through like a phase, and like, I'm not trying to say that like to be an asshole, but like kids explore. And like, here's another thing that I actually get Taylor on a podcast. She did one of her final papers on this, like autism and like people, so autism and sexual, not sexual abuse, sexual proclivities. No, people on the spectrum are very gender fluid and gender nonconformity. There we go. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up just a quick article of this. Autistic traits in mothers and children associated with no autism spectrum disorder risk factors. Autistic traits. Nope. Here we go. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. Feminism psychology. Abstract. Okay. Influenced by theories of intersectionality. I don't care. Performativity and gender hegemony. This review sought to explore the intersection of autism and gender in qualitative research into autistic identity. 12 papers were subjected to a thematic meta thesis following a systematic search. Study participants were predominantly cisgender female or gender diverse. Perspectives of cisgender autistic males were lacking. The three subordinate themes developed related to: one, the ways in which autism discourses restricted gender identities through the influence of the, quote, extreme male brain and, quote, masking narratives, and the use of autism to explain gender nonconformity and gender diversity. Two, and the ways in which gendered autistic identities were positioned with social power hierarchies as othered, subordinate, and less acceptable ways of being. And three, possibilities for finding spaces of belonging and resistance. That's something like the people that I know that are on the spectrum, it's hard for them to find a group of people. It sucks. I can tell you with personal experience. While autism as an identity may offer community and freedom for normative expectations, dominant autism discourses act to restrict and police gender, reinforcing existing power hierarchies. We encourage practitioners to reflect on the clinical, ethical, and political implications of their positioning in relation to the constructs of autism and gender, and to explore alongside people seeking support the personal and political impacts of gendered autism. I just think it's very it's a very fascinating idea. You know, it's very, very fascinating concept that what was I talking about? I don't know what I was talking about. Probably nothing important. But I just think it's very important that we be kind to each other, we understand each other. We don't make assumptions off of people for the person that we because they, you know, they indicate a few things, we think they are something that they're not. Fuck all that shit, dude. Taylor and we're making a huge step in our life right now. I gotta marry her, bro. I was thinking about, we were watching this show, Married at First Sight, or no, Love is Blind. Wild show. What a show that you watch and you go like, that's fucked. And like the whole concept of the show, I get what they're saying, bro. Like I understand, but I don't agree with it. I get it. Like they say like looks shouldn't matter, but they do matter, bro. Like that's always been my argument. Like the first thing you notice about somebody is their looks, right? Or I'm not a pig by saying that. There's no way I'm a pig. And like, think about the person you're with right now. What's the first thing you notice about them? If you're not blind, the way they look. That's just true. So that and then that guy, and then that's like the spark that pulls you in, and then you get to know them as a person. But like that, the way someone looks is vitally important at the beginning, right? At the beginning, and it continues. And if you're someone like me, you get the best of both worlds. You get a fucking stunning human being and the most brilliant, magnificent person in the world. Someone who's so caring, who's so loving, who's so respectable. just so open-minded, just ready to learn. Like, fuck, dude, Taylor's ready to learn everything. And that, to me, just... Sometimes you win, and sometimes you win big. And I won big, motherfucker. Gotta marry her before she fucking realizes how much of a piece of shit I am. What was I saying? God damn it. My brain just... I can't think of anything ever. Yeah, Love is Blind. So it's like this idea that like you don't need to like looks shouldn't matter. They don't matter. The way you look doesn't matter. And if all you care about somebody for the looks, you're a bad person. You're a piece of shit. It's like, nah, dude, chill out with that, bro. Looks do matter. Looks always have mattered, and they always will matter because humans are beasts, and that's what we do. But it's a really good show. And season 2, spoiler alert, stop watching right now. Spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. 2 out of 5 marriages get married. 2 out of 5 couples end up getting married. And the couples that get married are not the couples that I thought were going to get married. Or one of them was, but the other ones weren't. And you just watch the show and you go like, oh, that's so fascinating. Because my first thought was like, would I have found Taylor this way? And I think I would have. I think I would have. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But then when I saw her, I would have been, oh my God, that's a fucking winner. But we have been watching the show and like, you know, we've been doing a lot of thinking. Like we're about to make bigger changes in our life, which is, you know, kind of crazy because we've already made like a pretty big change by like, you know, moving to a different state and new jobs and everything like that. But like we're thinking about, she's thinking about doing something that's, I'm totally for anybody who wants to like do anything on their own. Like I love that. Like I wrote up myself a new resume and everything. This resume is much more lenient in marketing stuff, advertising. God damn it, this table is just so weak, bro. All right, that's better. But like I love when people do shit on their own. I think you should do everything on your own. I think that's vitally important. And I think you should have like a passion project. You should have something that's outside of your work, outside of your relationship. For me, it's the podcast. And she's been thinking about starting up something on her own. And so we've been talking about that and we've been looking at ways to make money off of it. And just also something that she just loves. And I do the podcast and I make money off of it. Not much, but I make some money off of it. And, you know, so we were thinking, we were talking, she's like, you know, you should like redo your resume. Like, so basically what we're doing now, we're going to try to do, because I've been door dashing, which has been fucking amazing. I love door dashing, dude. I don't know what part of me this is, but like, I love door dashing. And I've said it and I'll say it again. If DoorDash just paid like $3 extra per order, I would never get another job. I would just DoorDash till the day I die. I seriously would. I would get a Honda Prius. I would sell my car now while the market's still hot for $12,000. I owe $7,000, make $5,000 off of it. Go buy a fucking 2012 Honda Prius that gets 50 miles to the gallon, or maybe not 2012, 2018. Maybe get it for $5,000. You know, make a little bit of money off of that, flipping it. Just get a Honda Prius, just DoorDash all fucking day long. Go out on Friday night or Saturday night every other weekend. So I can get like one good night of, because I'm making about $700 a week right now, about $2,800. If I could make like $3 extra per order, you know, for $4,000, $48,000 a year, I'm totally fine with that. And I get to just do what I want when I want. Like, fuck, dude. But anyways, but I'm not going to be door dashing my entire life. I'm going to be doing it for a little bit longer. But we basically redid my entire resume, and I'm looking at my resume. I was like, fuck, dude, I have a good resume for like marketing. Like, I didn't realize, like, I have a pretty good marketing resume. Like, I looked at it and it's like, when you do a resume, you obviously beef it up a little bit. I was like, I have a podcast that has over X number of thousands and thousands of downloads. Actually, I have it right here. I can pull it up right here. Podcast host of the Michael Lab Show. Creator of a host of a 5-star rated podcast out of 725 ratings. Podcast viewed in over 56 countries. That's wild. Because it has. It's legitimately been viewed that many times. It's an international podcast. It's like 206 podcasts. It's like 25% of the world. Averaging thousands of downloads a month, and to date. Marketing through Facebook and Instagram. Founder, this one is hilarious because it's true though. It's not a lie. Like, it's true. Founder and CEO. I'm a chief executive officer, motherfucker. That's so cool. That's so funny. Silence Clothing Company, founded May 2017 to August 2020. Podcast of 2019 to the present day. Founded startup with focused on creating athletic apparel that embodied humility and hard work. Oh, I didn't read that. Recruited and managed social media athletes through Instagram. I did do that. That's wild, dude. That sounds so cool. To a certain amount in total sales. Fitness and lifestyle vlogger. That one's the coolest because like that was like one of my, and I didn't do like any Call of Duty shit, but I've been on YouTube for like a decade at this point. I've been on YouTube for a fucking long ass time. And some people have been alive. Documented my journey with fitness and starting my own business through my YouTube channel. Cut videos and created interesting transitions using Final Cut Pro. Did do that. Use Canva to create existing and eye-catching thumbnails. Totaled some amount of views. Education, Bachelor of Arts, Business Administration with a concentration on entrepreneurship, portfolio, all right there. And then like social media experience, 10 plus years of Twitter, 10 plus years of Facebook and Instagram, 2+ years Medium, Pinterest, 2+ years TikTok, 3+ years. I've been on TikTok for a long time. I got on TikTok pre-pandemic. I think it was my birthday of 2019 when nobody was on, and then just blew up during the lockdown. Software experience, Final Cut Pro, 5+, iMovie, 10+, Canva, 3+, Photoshop, 5+, MailChimp, 5+, Shopify, blah, 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 Google Ads. So like, I was doing things that I thought I wanted to do, but like, I don't want to do finance because I love finance. I don't want to make something that I love, like my job, like, like I also don't need, like, I don't know. It just seems the opportunity costs and like the give and take of that, like, seems stressful. And I just don't want that stress. I don't need that stress. Like I actually had an interview next week or the day that this podcast is going up. I had an interview, but I canceled it. It was a decent paying job, 40 to 80K. And I might sound like an idiot here, but I'm just speaking like my honest truth right now. My honest truth. I'm a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ, bro. What are you going to a fucking Hillary Clinton rally or a fucking Joe Biden thing or Kamala Harris thing? I'm going to speak my truth and nothing but my truth. Shut the fuck up. Every time you speak, you should be speaking the truth, you fucking kumquat. Pull up my chair there. Squeaky noise. I got this shit from Walmart, boy. Fucking Sam Walton upgrade your goddamn chairs, bro. If one of your family's worth $100 billion, upgrade your goddamn chairs, homie. Or get the fucking China to make better chairs. Pay them an extra dime a day and make better chairs, homie. Jokes. Yeah, so, made up this resume for marketing, and we're going to go ahead and send it out. And I'm going to try to do 5 or 6 resumes a weekend to remote positions in marketing and social media marketing. Remote, so I can work from the apartment, and that way Taylor and I can, like, enjoy our lives. We, at this point of our lives, we very, very much value the time we have together. We want to build something together. I have full confidence. Like, she's so much more. If I can build a podcast that gets thousands and thousands of downloads a month, and like, if I can like sell clothing to people who live in like Middle Eastern countries, dude, she could blow me out of the water because I'm just a hurricane of a human being. I walk in and it's just chaos. She's like a tulip, a perfectly fucking organized human being. Like, she's been planning this thing out for like 2 weeks now, and like, I'm gonna promote the shit out of it when she does it. Like, I'm so excited for her. She's so smart. Like here's what I gotta say. If my podcast poofed and went away, it wouldn't mean shit. But like, what she has to say and the value that she can bring to the world, I think is very, very important. And I feel like there's a space for her voice. A very important space for her voice, a voice from experience, a voice from knowledge, a voice from education. And she knows what she's doing more than I do. I'm a goddamn kumquat over here, just saying random shit all the time. But so she's going to start her own thing. I have my thing. I really do think I can grow my podcast even harder. And I think we can both get jobs, and that's that way we can travel. We want to live a lot of different places. We want to do a lot of things. When it comes to money, we're fine. Like, she's so good with her money. I'm good with my money. But fuck Virginia and your personal property tax. There's only like you and like 2 other states that do that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That is annoying. I know what a property tax is. Like, if you live in a house, but like a fucking personal property tax, get the fuck out. What? For what? I don't have to pay it because I haven't paid off my car yet. Good thing for being poor. But $1,000. What the fuck? Stupid. Like $3 for every $100 or something like that. Like, come on, man. It's Uncle Sam. Go back to bed, homie. It's not time to be awake yet. Get the fuck out of here. What else do I want to talk about? What else? Let's see, my phone is just not gonna work. That's cool. Who needs a phone that works, Cancel culture fucked up. Panera lady touching me. Yo, dude, I had this weird experience. Like, this is when I was sexually assaulted. It's a power position. I'm a dude, so I don't, I think that, a lot of, when you're a dude, you can kill women a lot. Like, as I'm like 6'1", 220 pounds. I walk down the street, I can kill most women there, right? Because of that, there's a power dynamic. This power dynamic basically is like, if I'm harmed by a woman, I could stop it when I wanted it. I could, unless I was drugged or shot or stabbed. I could stop it. I have the ball's in my court. So it's very hard for society and people to feel for somebody or a guy, or it's even hard for a guy to feel like something happened. When you're a woman, it goes this other way. When a woman could get killed, raped, beat up by most men that they see on the street, which is unfortunate and sucks ass. And anyways, that got dark quick. I apologize. I'm sorry. I do that a lot. Sometimes I just get in like a really fucking dark space and it just comes out of my face like fucking water shooting out of SpongeBob's holes. It's a weird metaphor. But yeah, I was in Panera. I was door dashing. I went in there to get an order. And there's this woman, she's at the checkout line, and to her left is like her mom. And this woman was nuts. She comes up to me and she starts talking. I wear short shorts, right? I wear short shorts. What I do. I have like tactile issue things. I don't wear anything else. I don't wear underwear. I wear 5 shirts. I wear 1 pair of shoes, 3 hats, and 4 shorts, but they're all the same. That's all I wear. And if I wear anything else, it sucks and I hate it and it gives me anxiety and I can't do it. And I don't wear there's not 1 pair of underwear here at the apartment because I don't wear underwear. Like, I'm dead serious when I say I do not do it. And I never realized, like, I guess I have very good legs. Like, I knew I had decent legs, but like women around here are like crazy about my legs. Like, always, I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to say like, I'm not trying to say like this is a good thing. This is just the truth, man. Like, I had a woman yesterday. I walk in, she walks in, and she's like, "Damn, boy, you come out here with those legs all the time like that? Man, you can't be left out of the house like that." And I'm like, "Huh?" And then she's looking at my legs. She's like, like, slapping the air like that. I'm like, hey, these are my legs. Fucking, imagine if a dude, I came, I said, "Hey, girl, look at that booty, babe. Look at that booty. Keep that booty on the couch." That'd be wild. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, good. I think it passed. But like, that would never happen. You can never do that. So I walk into this Panera. This lady is probably 70, 72 years old. And she looks at me. And immediately I see crazy eyes. I'm like, uh-oh, crazy eyes. She comes up to me. She starts talking about my legs. She says, "You're in college? Or you went to school?" Who's at Towson University on. I said, "I just graduated." She said, "Are you working?" "Nobody's working these days anymore. Nobody, fucking America's falling." She didn't say fucking, but she's like, "America's falling apart and
nobody's working anymore, and this country's just going downhill. And I'm like, yeah, well, things happen. We'll be all right, though. It's America. I said, I literally told her, I said, well, yeah, Hitler once ran the world. And she's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, well, that's like, things can get a lot worse, homie. And then she gets really close to me. And that's the first thing she did. She grabbed my shorts, grabbed was tugging them. Like, if they weren't tied, my dick would have came out. That would have been an issue. We probably would have an issue there. But I'm still not going to court. That's a lot of bullshit, She's like tugging on my shorts. She's like, you always wear these even when it's cold. I'm like, yeah, I like wearing shorts, It's weird to explain to people why you like wearing shorts. Like, yeah, well, I cry in the morning if I wear something that's too tight, or I cry in the morning if I wear something that's like I can feel on my legs. I can't do that. Once you wear short shorts and you're a freak like I am, a weirdo like I am, it's game changer, dude. It's the only thing you'll ever wear again. I see pictures of me wearing other things. I'm like, that boy's a psychopath. But and then she like gets up in my face and she literally grabbed my face like this. She's like, I forget what she said, but she was like grabbing it. She's like, you should be in healthcare. You should work in healthcare. I'm like, fuck you and your fucking healthcare. But she was grabbing my face like that, bro. And I like backed away. Then she just kept on going and going and going. And it was weird. I felt uncomfortable. I did. Like, I felt uncomfortable. And like, it was the same thing as an older lady. And it's like, I almost just wanted to fucking pick her little brittle body up and like toss her. Like, I was doing Panera, like toss her to the baguettes. You go to the baguettes, you little fucking old grouch creature. And everyone there was like, dude, COVID cases now on the rise in 40 U.S. states. No shit, it's not gonna go away, you fucking dumbass kumquats. Like, you see when we're all vaccinated like 12 times, bro. I mean, god damn, dog. I mean, they are still going hard about this shit. Like, the Biden administration, like they rebutted against the judge down in Florida. It's because she's a Republican. That's why. No, it's because the science doesn't back your stupid fucking mask anymore, homie. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Get out of here, dog. I don't want to hear any of that shit anymore. I don't want to get in COVID, but fuck your mask. I ain't putting a mask on my face again. Unless I have to. Unless I go in healthcare, I will. But it is so funny to see, like, right when a ruling comes down from a judge, everybody opens up that nope, Uber Eats doesn't need it, DoorDash doesn't need it anymore, Lyft doesn't need it anymore. You don't need it on Southwest. You don't need it on planes anymore. Everybody just lifts it. It's like, why couldn't we do that before? Because once you do that, once you like lift a mask on a specific day, or that was my issue like during the pandemic. They said we're lifting mask X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, this is not about science then. It's not about science then, because viruses don't plan out when they're gonna spike and not go down. So like I don't know, this whole thing I've been so I don't want to get into it in the last 5 minutes of the podcast because I don't want them to take down my podcast. But like, people still don't care about where the virus came from. Like, I'll go over right now, homie. Nobody knows where it came from. Where did COVID come from? There we go. Where did COVID come from? Severe acute respiratory. Okay, what is the origin? Is the novel severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. It was first isolated from 3 people with pneumonia connected to the cluster of acute respiratory illnesses in Wuhan. All structural features of the novel as SARS-2. Okay, that doesn't give me an answer. Where was the first COVID infection discovered? Wuhan, China. The original source of viral transmission of humans remain unclear, as does whether the virus became pathogenic before. The original source of the viral transmission to humans remains unclear. It was before that. It was from a fucking... What did they say? It came from a rat? They were trying to say that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't know, man. Did COVID come from a lab? Let's see what Google says to that. Did COVID come from a lab? Antarctica. Science closes in on COVID's origins. The lab leak hypothesis, of course, predicts 0. If the novel quotes were originally scientists, I don't get it. The COVID lab leak hypothesis. Did COVID come from a lab? A lot of articles about it. Before, you were just a crazy person if you said that. Fauci finally admits COVID-19 may have come from a lab leak. What the fuck? This is from New York Post? This is from New York Post. This isn't me like saying false information. June 3rd, 2021. Dr. Fauci is admitting that the coronavirus could have come from a lab leak, as emails released through FOIA shows he was told of, quote, unusual features of the virus, end quote, at the beginning of the pandemic, but is blaming criticism of his shifting position on, quote, people out there who, quote, resent him. Shut the fuck up, dumb bitch. Quote, there's no doubt that there are people out there who, for one other reason, resent me for what I did in the last administration, which was not anything that was anti-Trump at all, Fauci, a top advisor, said. Fauci admitted that he, quote, can't guarantee everything that is going on in the Wuhan lab in the wake of criticism after a drove of emails were first published. Quote, it was just trying to get the right information to try and get the right data. What they didn't seem to understand, I guess that understandable that they didn't understand it, is that science is a dynamic process. If science is a dynamic process, when you come out with a vaccine if you come out with a vaccine that happens in 100 days, fucking a year, if it's a dynamic process and you have people saying, I don't want the fucking vaccine, you don't tell them to trust science if it's a, quote, dynamic process. And with that, my day is over. Am I done? Am I good to go? All right, it's good to go. We did an hour, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Hopefully this one doesn't get me in trouble. From who? Not many people listen, so it doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, guys. Thank you so much for being you. You guys are beautiful souls. I love every one of you. I'll catch you guys in episode 235, 54, 298,000. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace out. See ya. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.